Hello, I'm Jaspreet on this side, and we are continuing with our 13th video on revision of Companies Act 2013. And disclaimer, this is only for revision purpose, and for any practical life situation, please refer updated laws. So, in our last 12th video, we had covered when not necessary to constitute CSR committee under section 135, board can fulfill all the requirements of CSR committee. Then next is entitlement of members to receive financial statement, manner of circulation of financial statement, filing of financial statement with ROC under section 137. So these were covered in our previous video, and in this 13th video, in this 14th video, we are proceeding with our next topic, internal audit. So internal audit is our next topic to proceed with. It is under section 138. Section 138 is on internal audit. Now, who can be an internal auditor? So any person can be an internal auditor. Now here given is a chartered accountant can be an internal auditor, cost accountant can be an internal auditor, such other professional as may be decided by the board. So such other professional as may be decided by board can be an internal auditor. Significant point, internal auditor may be either an individual or partnership firm or body corporate. Internal auditor may or may not be an employee of the company. So when I said anybody can be an internal auditor, so any employee can be an internal auditor. Internal auditor can be an individual, partnership firm or body corporate. Internal auditor can be chartered accountant, cost accountant, any professional. So everyone can be an internal auditor in a sense. Next is companies require companies required to conduct internal audit. Now, on which companies internal audit is applicable? So without any doubt, listed companies are covered. So here companies eligible for internal audit, number one is listed companies are covered. Then unlisted companies, unlimited public companies fulfilling the required conditions, and unlisted private companies fulfilling the required conditions. So obviously private companies are unlisted. So listed companies, by default, any listed company, if a company is listed, then it requires to conduct internal audit. Unlisted public company where paid up capital is 50 crores or more during the previous financial year. So in the previous financial year, whether audited or unaudited, it should be the previous financial year, and paid up capital is 50 crores or more. Paid up means actually money received from shareholders is 50 crores, it touches 50 crores or is more, then internal audit is mandatory. Number two, turnover is 200 crores or more during the previous financial year, rupees 200 crores or more during the previous financial year, whether audited or unaudited. Turnover is more than 200 crores, then internal audit becomes mandatory for a unlisted public company. Outstanding loan or borrowing from bank or financial institutions exceeding rupees 100 crores or more. So it is either touching 100 crores or more than 100 crores in the previous financial year. So here also we will only take previous financial year, whether audited or unaudited. But outstanding loan or borrowing from bank or public financial institution, only banks or public financial institutions are covered, and the amount is 100 crores or more. And fourth is last one, outstanding deposits. Deposits are outstanding of rupees 25 crores or more during the previous financial year, whether audited or unaudited. So which are companies which require to conduct internal audit? Listed companies, all listed companies are covered. Unlisted public companies falling in any one of these requirements, in respect of its paid up share capital, in respect of its turnover, in respect of its outstanding loans and borrowing, in respect of its deposits. So in respect of its paid up capital is rupees 50 crores or more in the previous financial year. turnover rupees 200 crores or more during the previous financial year, outstanding loan or borrowing from banks or public financial institutions exceeding rupees 100 crores or more during the previous financial year, outstanding deposits rupees 25 crores or more during the previous financial year. 50 crores, 200 crores, 100 crores, 25 crores. In case of private company, turnover will be checked. If the turnover is 200 crores or more, then internal audit is mandatory. If outstanding loans or borrowings from banks or public financial institutions exceeding 100 crores during the previous financial year. So in private company, we will not look at paid up capital, because in a private company it is assumed paid up capital is internal funds of the shareholders of the company, not a matter of concern. Turnover is exceeding 200 crores, then internal audit is mandatory. Outstanding loans or borrowings from banks or public financial institutions then of exceeding rupees 100 crores, then internal audit is mandatory. Good part is that turnover criteria is same. 200 matches 200 in both cases. It is not confusing at the level that for unlisted public companies and for private companies turnover have different amounts. So 200 is fixed. Second amount which is same is for loans. Outstanding loans from banks or financial institutions remains to be, if it touches 100 crores or more in the previous financial year, then internal audit is mandatory. Functions of internal auditor. What do internal auditor do? The audit committee of the company or the board shall, in consultation with the internal auditor, so audit committee or the board shall, in consultation with the internal auditor, formulate the scope, functioning, periodicity and methodology for conducting the internal audit. So what will be the scope of internal audit? What all activities will an internal auditor undertake? Functioning of the internal audit, what all functions it will undertake. Periodicity means internal audit will be conducted quarterly, half yearly, annually, monthly, or based on each transaction on happening of certain event. So periodicity and methodology, what methods will be used for conducting the internal audit depending on the organization, its size, business objects and various factors. So methodology, what method will be conducted by for the purpose of internal audit. So board will, in consultation with internal audit, formulate all these points. And if there is audit committee, then audit committee shall, in consultation with internal auditor, formulate the scope, functioning, periodicity and methodology for conducting internal audit. Next is who can be appointed as an auditor. Who can be appointed as an auditor? So now we have moved to statutory auditor. This is not internal audit, this is a statutory auditor. Who can be a statutory auditor? Now, individual can be a statutory auditor, a firm can be a statutory auditor. Appointment of first auditor, section 139 subsection 6 and subsection 7. So we are in section 139. Section 139 deals with appointment of first auditor. So in first auditor, let's take it in case of government company. So in case of government company, here it is given in asterisk, government company or any other company owned or controlled directly or indirectly by the central government or by any state government or governments, or partly by the central government or partly by one or more state government. So these are all covered in government companies. Now, first auditor in case of government company, C and AG shall appoint auditor. So in case of government company, controller and auditor general shall appoint auditor of the company. within 60 days from the date of registration of the company. So within 60 days of registration of a government company or a company which is owned and controlled by central government, one or more state governments, or jointly by central government and state government or governments. So within 60 days of registration of the company, Controller and Auditor General shall appoint an statutory auditor of the company. If Controller and Auditor General does not appoint first auditor in the said 60 days, then what happens? Board of Directors shall appoint auditor within the next 30 days. Then after 60 days, Board of Directors shall appoint the auditor in within next 30 days. Other than government company, directly board is appointing the first auditor of the company. But in case of government company, controller and auditor general shall appoint first auditor of the company within 60 days. Otherwise, board shall appoint within next 30 days. If board of directors does not appoint auditor in these 30 days, then what happens is board shall inform the members of the company. So if board is also not appointing, then board shall inform the members of company, means inform the shareholders. Now members of company shall appoint first auditor. Then members will appoint first auditor within 60 days at extraordinary general meeting. So first 60 days from incorporation is given to controller and auditor general. Then next 30 days is given to board of directors. Then next 60 days is given to the shareholders of the company to appoint the first auditors in the extraordinary general meeting. Tenure. Now tenure of first auditor shall be till the conclusion of the first AGM. So in the first auditor shall hold office till the conclusion of the first AGM. This is common. Now apart from government companies, in other companies, board shall appoint auditor within 30 days of registration of company. So in how much time first auditor is to be appointed? Within 30 days of registration of a company, the statutory auditor, the first auditors of the company are to be appointed. If board does not appoint the auditor, board shall inform members regarding such failure, and members, that is shareholders, shall appoint the statutory auditor, the first auditor, within next 90 days at extraordinary general meeting. So here in our case, in other than government company, in case of government company was 62, controller and auditor general auditor and controller and auditor general shall appoint within 60 days, then 30 days to board, and if failing, then 60 days to members. In case of other than government companies, board shall appoint within 30 days. If board fails to appoint within 30 days, then 90 days time is given to members to appoint first auditors in the extraordinary general meeting. So 30 days is given. This is all coming in number of days, then 90 days is given. Tenure is same, tenure till the conclusion of the first AGM. So first auditor shall hold office both in case of government company and in case of any other company for till the conclusion of first annual general meeting. Okay, so next we come to appointment of subsequent auditor. Now, at the conclusion of first AGM or on the conclusion of tenure of the present auditor, which usually is 5 years now, so subsequent auditor in case of government company and in case of any other company. For government company, we found a government company or a company which is owned and controlled by central government or state government and or jointly by central and state governments. So subsequent auditor in case of government company, subsequent auditor is also appointed by controller and auditor general in respect of a financial year within 180 days from the commencement of financial year. So in respect of any financial year, controller and auditor general will appoint the statutory auditor within 180 days from commencement of financial year. Tenure will be till the conclusion of AGM. Here appointment includes reappointment. Government company or any other company owned or controlled directly or indirectly by the central government or any state government or governments, or partly by central government or partly by one or more state governments. So that we already know. So for government companies, subsequent auditor is also appointed by controller and auditor general within 180 days of closure of financials with respect to that financial year. Within 180 days of commencement of financial year with respect to that financial year. Now, in any other company other than government company, appointed by company in annual general meeting, tenure auditor shall hold office from the conclusion of that AGM in which he is appointed till the conclusion of sixth AGM, means from that AGM till sixth AGM. Suppose it is first AGM, then till sixth AGM. So for 5 years, auditor is appointed. Can auditor be appointed for a duration lesser than 5 years? Answer is no. Only in case of first auditor or in case of casual vacancy. The auditor is appointed for the current financial year and then he has to be appointed again at annual general meeting for subsequent 5 years. But in case of government company, controller and auditor general appoints every year for that particular financial year within 180 days of commencement of that particular financial year. Okay. Casual vacancy. Casual vacancy of auditor, section 139, subsection 8. So all audit relates to section 139. Casual vacancy of auditor. Casual vacancy is that if during the tenure auditor chooses to resign, either he can resign or there can be other reasons for casual vacancy. Now, company whose accounts are subject to audit by auditor appointed by controller and auditor general. If or company is subject to audit, means in case of government company where auditor is appointed by controller and auditor general. So casual vacancy to be filled by controller and auditor general within 30 days. Casual vacancies to be filled within next 30 days. In other companies also, casual vacancy is filled by board within 30 days. But in case where controller and auditor general appoints auditors, then here instead of board, controller and auditor general will appoint auditor within 30 days. If controller and auditor general does not fill vacancy in 30 days, to be filled by board of directors within next 30 days. So first 30 days is given to controller and auditor general. Next 30 days is given to board of directors if need be. In case of other companies, filling of casual vacancies by board of directors within 30 days. If vacancy is caused by resignation, appointment by board shall also be approved by a company at general meeting convened within 3 months of recommendation of board. Now here question arises in case of, particularly in case of resignation. Okay, the auditor resigns, then board shall appoint, then board shall get approval of members of the company at general meeting. That general meeting is to be convened within 3 months of recommendation of board. Now suppose if AGM is being convened within that next 3 months, then should this matter be considered directly at AGM? Or so the concern is whether if the annual general meeting is being convened in within next 3 months, then can this casual vacancy due to resignation be approved by members in the annual general meeting? So practically we found that an extraordinary general meeting should ideally be convened before the annual general meeting, where this will be approved, and at the next annual general meeting, in this casual vacancy in extraordinary general meeting is approved only for the current tenure, that is only till the next annual general meeting, and at next annual general meeting after placing the accounts, this will be presented for reappointment or change of auditor for the next 5 years. So this is what we found practically. Now, next point is the auditor so appointed shall hold office till the conclusion of the next AGM. So when casual vacancy is filled, then that auditor will hold office only till the conclusion of next AGM. What it means is that auditor cannot be directly appointed for next 5 years. Okay. Auditor has to be appointed in case of casual vacancy for only current tenure, and then at the annual general meeting, auditor will be appointed for 5 years from the conclusion of current annual general meeting till the fifth annual general meeting thereafter. Reappointment of retiring auditor, section 139 subsection 9. So section 139 relating to auditor, reappointment of retiring auditor. So now after first auditor at end of his tenure of first AGM, at time of first AGM or after sixth AGM, or whenever 5 years are completed, then reappointment. A retiring auditor may be reappointed at an annual general meeting if he is not disqualified for reappointment, his qualification will be obtained that he is qualified to be reappointed, his consent will be received, and he is not disqualified to be reappointed. Number two, he has not given company notice in writing of his willingness to be reappointed. He has not given company notice in writing of his unwillingness to be reappointed, means he may not consent to be reappointed. He is not disqualified, that we have to obtain from him that he is not disqualified, and he has not given in writing that he do not want to, he is not willing to get reappointed. So that should not be received. Consent may be received, may not be received, but that he is not willing to be reappointed, that should not have been received. A special resolution has not been passed at the meeting appointing some other auditor or providing expressly that he shall not be reappointed. So a special resolution is not passed at the meeting, either suggesting some other auditor or suggesting that this particular auditor be not reappointed. Such a special resolution is not passed. He himself has not shown his not willingness to be reappointed, and he is not disqualified to be reappointed. In these cases, the retiring auditor can be reappointed at auditor, where at any AGM no auditor is appointed or reappointed. The existing auditor shall continue to be auditor of the company. So if at AGM either a new auditor is not appointed or the same auditor is also if not reappointed, then the existing auditor shall continue to be the auditor of the company. So existing auditor continues if no resolution is passed relating to the auditor. So AGM is not held, tenure of auditor has expired, then it is similar case if AGM is also not held, tenure of auditor has expired, then he shall continue to be the auditor. He shall continue to be the auditor under section 139(9). Okay. So next we move to term of auditor, section 139 subsection 2. Term of auditor. Listed companies and prescribed class of companies. So term of auditors. Okay, I think this should be taken together, term of auditor. So let's continue this in our next video, as this whole should be covered in one video. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for revisiting and revising, and disclaimer again that this is only for revision purpose.